Evening and welcome to Season 12 Round 9 here at Silverstone for DRS Championships. The penultimate round, and the drivers' standings are very close in both the drivers' standings, pro drivers and the Pro-Am drivers. That's not both, is it? That's three. So in all championships, everything is close. Pro-Am, the drivers' standings and the constructors still isn't decided, but we're on a one-shot qualifier and an 100% race, which is 52 laps. And we got rain for quali and end of the race also, I believe. Otherwise, it's cloudy. DRS Swanton leads the form guide. Season 1, he was 6th. Season 2, he was 1st. Season 3, he was 1st. Season 5, he was 5th. Season 7, he was 6th. Season 8, he was 5th. And Season 9, he was 3rd. Absolute lap record belongs to Mr. Pickle, pro driver, F123. Season 8, a 1:27.653. And the Pro-Am record holder is Inyaxa, is it? Safety car risk is 33% and 11% rain risk. Well, I would say it's 100% rain risk by looking at them pictures. And we are on board with the Sloth. Currently P5. I'll put the mini map on, then we can tell you whereabouts on track the Sloth is. This is just coming round into... I can't read my own writing. Anyways, round Aintree now. And then along the Wellington Straight. And around Woodcoats. Currently P12 is the Sloth. Senate is leading at the moment. Jack Daniels, your Drivers' Championship leader, is in P2. DRS Colin in P3. Just coming into Cops. And then on to the famous Maggots, Beckett and Chapel. P15, P14 now the Sloth. Senate still leads. Coming around Chapel now, onto the Anchor Straight, into Stowe. Here's where quite a few moves are made as DRS comes in. P14 still the Sloth. Senate still leading provisional pole, coming around Vale and now into Club. And Senate with a 1:37.5 is your pole sitter. And 12th was the Sloth. Here we go there. Senna then is in pole in the Visa Cash App Racing Bull with 1:37.5. Alongside him is championship leader Jack Daniels in the McLaren. Row 2 is DRS Syme in the Ferrari and Project Ty in the McLaren. Row 3 is DRS Swanton in the Alpine and DRS Colin in the Williams. Marvsky is on row 4 with Alex Pixie. DRS Smudgett and Lord Coleman on row 5. King Kong and the Sloth row 6. Central Finley and Al Newt are on row 7. And then we have got row 8, J. Lowfield and a Late Bloomer. And then row 9, I didn't quite catch who they were. I am terribly sorry. But we'll have a couple of minutes before our formation lap. We see that the rain has stopped. And tonight's runners and riders in the Red Bull, we have Lord Coleman and Michael JFF. In the Ferrari, DRS Syme and Alex Pixie. In Mercedes, Saintsy and King Kong. In McLaren, Project Ty and Jack Daniels. Alpine, we've got DRS Swanton and J. Lowfield. Al Newt is the only driver in the Aston Martin tonight. In the Sauber, we've got Late Bloomer and DRS Smudgett. And in the Williams, DRS Colin and Marvsky. Centre Finn and Senna are in the Cash App Racing Bulls. And in the Haas, we've got the Sloth and 50 Gent. Right, your driver standings. Jack Daniels is leading on 1-3-0. And then we've got DRS Swanton just 7 points behind on 1-2-3. And then a bit of a gap then to Senna on 86. The Sloth 66. Al Newt on 56. DRS Colin 47. Smuggett on 44. Lord Coleman also on 44. Alex Pixie 37. DRS Syme on 34. King Kong on 26. 50 Gent and Project Tie on 20. Saints is on 16 with Terry's Reds on 15. Marvsky's on 12. Mr. Pickles 11. Skippy and Centra Finley on 9. And Late Bloomer on 6. Your Pro Drivers Championship led at the moment by Jack Daniels on 136 points. 13 points behind is Dara Swanton on 1-2-3. Then we've got Senna on 98, the Sloth on 87, Al Newt 68, DRS Collins 57, DRS Smuggett 54, DRS Syme 41, King Kong on 32, Marvsky 26, Terry's Reds 21, and Mr. Pickles on 13. Pro-Ams is led by Alex Pixie by just 1 point from Lord Coleman on 125. Project Tie on 105. Then we've got 50 Gent on 99. Saintsy on 70. Skippy 52. Rouge Nico on 40 with Easy Life also on 40 points. Late Bloomer on 36. Centrafin on 34. Michael JFF on 19. Then we have Blobby Butler on 12 and Jay Lowfield on 5. Your constructors led by McLaren. 241 points. Haas are on 188 in P2. Then we've got Ferrari on 177. Red Bull are 171. Alpine's 149. Racing Bulls on 142. Mercedes 133. Aston Martin's 121. Williams are on 107. And the Sauber are on 100 points. So there are your formalities out the way. The Silverstone British Grand Prix has been held 79 times since it came on the F1 calendar in 1926. Lewis Hamilton has 9 wins and Ferrari lead the constructors on 18 wins. Each lap is 5.891 kilometres or 3.66 miles, and your 100% race is 306.198 kilometres or 190.263 miles. So we are waiting. One of the longest, well, it is the longest running F1 venue, the Silverstone Grand Prix, well, British Grand Prix as well. We are just waiting now for your formation lap, and then we've got 100%, 52 laps around this iconic Silverstone circuit set in Buckinghamshire and Northamptonshire. I think it's Northamptonshire. Better check on that. Well, it's Summitshire. Yeah, Northamptonshire and I'm trying to think of the other one. Can't think off the top of my head. Anyway, here's the cars on your formation lap. Let's have a look. It's rather hazy, misty here at Silverstone. We'll have a look, see what the tyre choices are for each driver. And your pole sitter Senna in the Cash App Racing Bull is on the soft option. Jack Daniels in McLaren is on the mediums in P2. DRS Sign also on mediums in P3. Project Tie and DRS Swanton both on mediums, and in P6 we've got the Williams driver DRS Colin on softs, and teammate Marski in the Williams also on the softs. Then we've got Alex Pixie in the Ferrari. Alex Pixie is on the mediums. Smugget in the Sauber is on softs. Lord Coleman on the mediums in the Red Bull, followed by King Kong in Mercedes, also on the mediums. The Sloth, who we're on board with in qualifying, is on mediums in the Haas, and Finley in the Cash App Racing Bull on mediums, as is Al Newt in the Aston Martin in P14. P15, Jay Lowfield on softs in the Alpine. Blake Bloomer in the Sauber, also on the softs in P16. P70, that's Mercedes Sainty. He's on the mediums, as is 50 Gent in the Haas in P18. And Michael JFF is on softs in P19 in the Racing Bull, as they're just coming around into club now, well, around Vale and into club, and then they'll be forming the starting lineup. Senna is on pole alongside Jack Daniels, the standings world champion at the moment, with one round to go after tonight. Looking forward to that. So we will go on board with Jack Daniels and see if Senna can hold on to first place going into that first corner. And we've got 5 lights on and they're off. Oh, quite a few jumping the gun. I think Senna was one, Simon was another one. We're on board with Jack Daniels, who is in P3. Senna's gone, he's already second in front, but the game says he did do a jump start. But Project Tie following teammate Jack Daniels in P4, Swanton up to P5 with DRS Colin P6. Alex Pixie just takes Marski for P7. Marski takes it back. We're on normal camera angle, and there's quite a few side by side going along the Hanger Straight. Actually, it's not Hanger Straight, it's Wellington. DRS Colin up to P5 already in the Williams. Swanson in P6, got an inside line, but Colin has got the better line and better exit from the corner as they're coming round into Cops. You going wide there, but Senna still leads, and he's got a 2-second advantage over Jack Daniels, who's now in P2 with DRS Sign P3. Project Tie is in P4, and we've got DRS Colin and Swanton. Marski, DRS Smugget, Alex Pixie and Lowell Coleman are your top 10, and down at the bottom of the lineup, King Kong and Sainty, the 2 Mercedes drivers, P18 and 19. Don't know what happened there, but they find themselves at the back of the grid, and use that going in the pit. That's DRS Swanton. Syme has gone in the pits, and been a bit of a collision with somebody. Maybe that's why the Mercedes are down at the bottom. Let's have a look, see what's wrong with Syme. He's going to have a new front wing. Can't see. There's any damage there. He's doing his drive-through. Fair enough. Yeah, he was a bit hot off on his heels from the start. Got a 10-second penalty which he is serving now. Which Senna, who leads the Grand Prix, lap 2. Senna's 2.5 seconds ahead of Jack Daniels with Project Tie, with DRS Colin, DRS Swanson and Marski in close contention. A little bit of a gap then to DRS Smugget in the Sauber with Alex Pixie P8 in the Sloth. And Coleman and York's 10. So then we'll have to go in the pits and serve that 10-second penalty whenever he feels necessary. Just trying to get a good lead before he serves that penalty, but we'll see. Currently P4 in the championships on P3, sorry, in the championships on 86 points is Senna. Hard luck for the week. Marski up to P5, just gets past Project I, who's dropped back to P6. The Senna fastest lap 1:3:14.12. He's going down Hamilton Straight now. There's a few side-by-side action. We've got the Haas and the Ferrari of the Sloth, and Alex Pixie, the Sloth in P8, Alex Pixie P9, and Low Coleman P10 in the Red Bull. On the inside of the Red Bull is Al Newt in the Aston Martin. And the Red Bull will get the inside line here, and that's Low Coleman. And Al Newt gets a good exit into the Wellington Straight, as DRS Swanton has got past Colin in the Williams. Swanton up to P3, now chasing Jack Daniels, 2.5 seconds to gain on the McLaren, but Senna 2.5 seconds ahead. And we've got Jake Lowfield passing Michael JFS for P13. That's the Alpine getting past the Red Bull, but the Red Bull gets him back into Cops. And then into Maggots, Beckett and Chappell. And pick up DRS. This is where we do see some changes, as you can see there. DRS Colin and DRS Swanton swap positions for P3, and Alex Pixie in the slot. Swap positions, that's Alex Pixie up to P8, and Senna is going into the pit lane to serve his 10-second penalty, and picks up a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Jack Daniels with a 1:31.2 is your fastest lap. He takes over at the front of the field. Unlucky that for Senna. Wouldn't say one of the luckiest drivers, because he has had some hard luck. DRS Smugget up to P5 in the Sauber. Bit best Project Tie. Let's see, coming round Aintree into the Wellington Straight. Into JFF has a serious collision with Jay Lowfield. Now then, we missed that was as Colin and DRS Swanton battling out for P2. We go on to that battle with Mavsky and DRS Smugget not too far behind. This is where the action is, battling out for P2, and it's DRS Colin and DRS Swanton with Mavsky and Smugget in the Sauber. Not much between these four. Go on board with DRS Swanton, who tries to chase down the Williams of DRS Colin. Here we go, he's having a look on the right hand side, and that's move done along the hanger straight for DRS Swanton. That's up to P2, Marvsky, up to P3, DRS Colin's lost 2 positions within a couple of corners onto the proper camera angle. See DRS Swanson in P2 on his quest now to catch up to Jack Daniels, who's leading this Grand Prix on lap 5. 3.8 seconds is the gap. Putting pressure on the Alpine with DRS Colin. The Williams is ganging up on the Alpine. DRS Smugget comes up on the inside. That's a lovely move from DRS Smugget, but can't just pull the move off. As DRS Colin gets a better exit from the corner, and Marvsky gets past DRS Swanton coming into Marvsky then. DRS Swanton and Colin. Project Type is lurking in the background, and along into Cops. From the aerial shot, you can see Marvsky, DRS Swanton, Colin and Smugget with Project Type. Now it's Pixie up to P7. Good little battle this is between both these 6 cars in shot there, balloting out for P2. And here we come, another change, DRS Swanton and Mavsky in past Colin. Does Smudgett also pass Mavsky's up to P2. DRS Swanton has to settle it as Smudgett does get up to P5. He wants P4 though, he needs to get past DRS Colin. That's lap 5 done and dusted, on to lap 6, and your leader is Jack Daniels, 4.4 seconds with the gap to Mavsky. With DRS Swanton going on into Aintree now. Mavsky holding on as we're coming into the Wellington Straight. Here comes DRS Swanton. See the gap closing, and he makes the move. Colin also looking for a move, but slight mistake. Drops a few car lengths down. Great shot from the helicopter. DRS Swanton leading this gaggle with Mavsky, Colin, and Smudgett. Project Tight getting closer, as is Alex Pixie, and Almute isn't far behind. He's battling it out for P2. Senna is in P17 and still got that 10-second penalty hanging over his head. Unfortunate for the Cash App driver. This battle for P8 as Michael JFF picks up a 3-second time penalty. Comes to Sloth on the inside of Almute. That's the hash past the Aston Martin. Aston Martin regains position. There's a Red Bull of Lord Coleman as well, up to P9, getting past Almute's Aston Martin. And we've got Late Bloomer and King Kong in on the action as well. We've got a yellow flag, and that's Michael JFF is out, and that's a safety car. Wow, Michael JFF comes to grief at Vale. And it's come a decent time for your soft tyre sitters. Jack Daniels leads from DRS Swanton and Mavsky. There's Colin, Smudgett, Project Tight, Alex Pixie. Let's have a look at position changes. So up 1 is Jack Daniels, Swanton is up 3, Mavsky's up 4, Colin up 2, Smudgett's up 4, down 2 is Project Tight, Alex Pixie's up 1, the Sloth up 4, Lord Coleman up 1, Almute up 4, Late Bloomer up 5, King Kong's down 1, Central Finley as it was, 50 Gent up 4, look, Jay Lowfield is as it was, Saints is up 1. Down 16 is Senna, and down 16, actually 15 is DRS Sign. Who got damage sign? Can't see any visually. Any penalties? Just Senna on the 10 seconds. Mavsky is in the pits, as is Smudgett and Project Tie. So we have our first safety car on lap 6. Gives me a little chance to get a little drink on board with Simon as he's going in the pits. So race leader stays out. That's the Swanton, Colin, Alex Pixie, the Sloth, Lord Coleman, Almute, Late Bloomer, King Kong, Central Finley, 50 Gent, Jay Lowfield and Senna all staying out. Fresh mediums for Mavsky, fresh hards for DRS Smudgett, fresh mediums for Project Tight, fresh mediums for Saintsy, and Simon has a fresh set of hard tyres as he rejoins the queue behind the safety car, which is led by Jack Daniels. safety car does enter the pits. Jack Daniels can restart the race whenever he wants. Safety car will wait for Stainsey and DRS time to catch up to the safety car queue. So round 10 next week is at Azerbaijan at the Baku circuit. That will definitely sort out men from the boys, and your championships with drivers and construction championships will be decided at Baku this time next week. One I'm looking forward to. All cars are in the safety car queue now, so the safety car will be going in this lap. Get confirmation shortly. Should be just after they've gone through Margaret, Beckett's and Chapel, usually. Still very misty here at Silverstone. Those that missed qualifying, it was raining. There is confirmation that the safety car is going in, so we will jump on board with Jax. We'll be dictating the restart. An indication of when he goes will be, if you see on screen now, at the bottom centre at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a big 2. To the right of that is the speedometer, currently on 60 miles an hour. That will jump rapidly when he restarts. There you go, he's gone. Just coming into club, and he has put his foot down, and DRS Swanton hasn't really been caught out there. Still half a second behind, but it could have been worse. Jack Daniels lead from DRS Swanton in P2. And we've got Colin in the Williams, followed by Alex Pixie in the Ferrari, the Sloth in the Haas, following the Ferrari, and then Will Coleman in P6, Al Newt P7, Lake Bloomer, King Kong, Centre Finley, 50 Gen, Lowfield Senna up to P13 now. Marvsky, DRS Smudgett battling it out with Project Ty. Project Ty coming alongside the Sauber. Project Ty. What's P15? Joe Lowfield has got past 50 Gen for P11. Back up cheerleaders. Jack Daniels leads. Nice aerial shot there. Jack Daniels going around Cox. Followed by DRS Swanton and DRS Collins. Senna up to P12, get past 50 Gen. And now Newt has got past Lord Coleman for P6. Sloth in P5 with a 2-second gap then to Al Newt. Jack Daniels leads, still 6/10 is the gap between himself and DRS Swanton. With DRS Colin, Alex Pixie, the Sloth, and Al Newt. Your top 6, Lord Coleman, Lake Bloomer, King Kong and Central Finley is your top 10. So Senna, as DRS is enabled, will be music to the ears of the likes of Senna. DRS is really close now to Jack Daniels. Will stay on this battle with DRS Colin also sticking his nose in. Alex Pixie and the Sloth battling out for P4, and the Sloth is past. Haas is up to P4. So Jack Daniels leads and coming into Woodgate. No, it isn't. Footlands and Woodgate. Close at the front then. 5 drivers battling out all within DRS of each other. Jack Daniels lead from DRS Swanson, DRS Colin, the Sloth and Alex Pixie, and Senna is up to P11. This could be where we see a move from DRS Swanson. He pulls alongside, and that's DRS Swanson in the lead, getting past Jack Daniels. Senna up to P10. Senna on the move, he's got his teammate centre firmly behind him. Shea Lowfield in P12. Marsky, who was up there before the safety car, is in P13. The Sloth sets fastest lap at 1:31.271. Senna with a 1:30.825. Quickly takes that fastest lap away. Jack Daniels regains the lead. I did an extra clip there and out to DRS sign, but it's close at the front. Then 5 cars, not much covering them at all. But it's Jack Daniels coming into Woodgate, Brooklands, sorry. Will Coleman up to P6, down in P7. Then we've got Lake Bloomer and King Kong with Senna looking ominous in P10. Shouldn't be too long before he's inside that top 10. Jack Daniels leads from DRS Swanson as he's coming around into Maggots. And then Swanson will pick up DRS after Chapel. Go on board with DRS Swanson, looking at the back of McLaren alongside. In front, but Jack Daniels quickly takes it back. And we have a look for Club. That's all they will do. They'll have a look and not chance it. Go back onto your normal camera view and come round to complete lap 12 of 52. It's Jack Daniels from DRS Swanson, DRS Colin, the Sloth, Alex Pixie. We've got a bit of a gap then to Al Newt with Lord Coleman pressing all over the back of the Aston Martin with Lake Bloomer, King Kong and Senna. Still with that 10-second penalty is the cash out. But what a move that is from Senna on the inside of King Kong's Mercedes. Got Sauber next. Here comes DRS Swanson again along the Wellington Straight. And that's him back in front. And Marski overtakes Jay Lowfield. Jay Lowfield takes him back. Let's have a look at that little battle for P11. Jay Lowfield's Alpine slips back to P11. Marsky waiting patiently for the move of Senna up to P8 now as he gets past Lake Bloomer. The Red Bull will come in his sights. Got Al Newt, and he's got a good track gap then to Alex Pixie, but DRS Swanson leads. Will he keep on to the lead as Project Ty picks up a penalty? And there goes Jack Daniels, same line as he did a lap before. And that inside line coming into Stoke as Jay Lowfield picks up a penalty. Battling it out with Project Ty. Project Ty takes P12 from Jay Lowfield. Jack Daniels still leaves DRS Swanson and DRS Colin. Great driving here again. DRS, and look at the Haas of the Sloth. And the look on the inside of DRS Collins Williams. round entry into Wellington Straight. That's Daniels not using much back rate. Didn't use any at all really. Yeah, Swanson has to keep in P2. Colin and the Sloth. Alex Pixie dropping off these front four. The Sloth is over the back of the Williams of DRS Colin, pulling alongside. Let's have a look on board. Around Cops into Maggots. Full blast, no let-offs. Then on to your leaders. On board with DRS Swanson. DRS kicks in. Make the move on the McLaren. He's thinking about it. No. It's better of it. Still adding pressures. Al Newt drops down to P8 from P6. Mistake then from Al Newt. Jay Lowfield and Project Ty swapping positions again. The Cashat Racing Bull of Century Finley putting some pressure on Project Ty. We'll go back up to the front because the front two have pulled out a DRS on DRS Colin. Jack Daniels and DRS Swanson should pull away gradually now. McLaren leads the Alpine. The Alpine's having a look, and the speed carries him through. We'll have the inside line for the next corner. Swanson back in front, but Jack Daniels not making it easy for him. These are the two title contenders in the driver's standings. DRS Swanson leads from Jack Daniels. DRS Colin under pressure from the Sloth. On board with the Sloth. Alex Pixie. Senna up to P6 already. Just has a 10-second penalty. Comes into Maggots. Brackets and Chapel. Up to your leaders, DRS Swanson and Jack Daniels. There's the Sloth past DRS Colin. That's the ask up to P3. Have a look, see if Al Newt can get past Lord Coleman. Yes, he can. That's the Aston Martin up to P7. So Senna only 2 seconds adrift of the Ferrari of Alex Pixie now on his quest to get back up into the top flight. DRS Swanson though with the advantage over Jack Daniels. Let's have a look at Late Bloomer and King Kong. Going around. Late Bloomer following Lord Coleman. Lord Coleman following Aston Martin of Al Newt. DRS Swanson leads, coming around Woodcote, sorry, keep got these names wrong. Two Cops, and on to Maggots, Brackets and Chapel. Only and Lord Coleman are close, looking from the helicopter camera. Cracking shots there with Late Bloomer and the Sauber. Pace for it move for any mistakes. King Kong and Marvski not too far behind them. Got a bit of a gap then to as Jack Daniels takes DRS Swanson just before Stoke. And we see, was that DRS Colin going in the pits? King Kong has picked up a penalty there. Colin has gone in the pits. Let's new set of tyres for Colin. 16 laps is enough on them softs. Colin drops right down to P18. That's how close things are on lap 17 of 52. Does DRS Colin retake the lead? Yes, he does. Sloth on his own in P3. Alex Pixie in P4, Senna's in P5 now. Then she's down the Ferrari of Alex Pixie. I'll mute P6 with Late Bloomer, P7, Lord Coleman under pressure from King Kong. King Kong on the outside. Cracking battle between the Red Bull and the Mercedes. Lord Coleman and King Kong. Nothing between them at all. Around Cops into Maggots. Look at Marski there as well. Lovely 3-car battle coming into this Maggots, Beckett and Chapel part of the track. Into Angle Straight. Still late bloomer from Lord Coleman, Marski and King Kong to complete lap 17. On lap 18 is Jax Daniels as Al Newt has picked up a penalty. Just over a third of the race gone. And it's Jax Daniels with DRS Swanson 2 seconds ahead of the Sloth in P3. Alex Pixie, Senna in P5 with Al Newt. Late bloomer, Lord Coleman, Marski, King Kong, Project Ty, J. Lowfield, DRS Sign, 50 Gent, Central Finley, Saintsy, Smudgate in P17, DRS Colin on a fresh set of mediums in P18. Late bloomer has got past Lord Coleman for P7. Nice battle here, 4 cars battling that out for P7. Late bloomer, Lord Coleman, Marski and King Kong. Lovely shot from the helicopter. Is the Sauber leading them into Cops, Maggots, Beckett and Chapel. Lovely shot from above, that is. I've noticed Lord Coleman's line is unfortunately he made a bit of a mistake there, but it's flying around come out. A piece of carbon flew up in the air there. I don't know if we all saw it, but Marski is up to P8 now. Lord Coleman down to P10 as King Kong gets past. Marski and Late Bloomer battling out for P7. It's Marski from King Kong. Late Bloomer's gone in the pits and out of the battle. So soft tyres are certainly wearing out. Senna on 18 lap old softs. It's all over the back of Alex Pixie now. Battling out P4. Which is some drive from Senna. Here he comes alongside. And that is a Cash App Racing Bull up to P4. King Kong and Marski swap positions for P7. The Mercedes gets that position from the Williams. Lord Coleman is also looking in on the Williams. And we've got Smudgate at the back of the pack. It past Central Finley. That's the Sauber up to P15. Jax Daniels and DRS Swanson getting close again. And this is where the Alpine will pick up DRS as J. Lowfield picks up another 3-second time penalty. And there you go. That's DRS Swanson back in the lead. Senna leading Alex Pixie into club. And King Kong has got past Marski for P7. Lord Coleman also there waiting for any mistake made. Project Ty is hanging in there as well. And here comes the Red Bull of Lord Coleman. Inside line on Marski. Marski has the better speed out the corner. The Red Bull of Lord Coleman looking very, very sharp. Now J. Lowfield and 50 Gent swap positions. 50 Gent in the Haas as a hand. Ooh, a couple of cars spinning. Saintsy and J. Lowfield come a cropper there. Saintsy's dropped right back. And Project Ty has got past Lord Coleman, and Marski's dropped another position as well. DRS Signs gets past the Williams. The other flags have gone temporarily. 5 drivers on penalties. Senna en route, King Kong, Project Tie, and Jay Lowfield. Four-way battle here, 4P9, held at the moment by Lord Coleman, DRS Sign, Marski and 50 Gent, all trying to take that position as on board with Marski as he goes in the pits. Back at the front though, Jay Lowfield's picked up another penalty. It's DRS Swanson and Jack Daniels, and they have increased their gap to the Sloth in P3 to 3 seconds. The Sloth is racing very lonely. We've got a 2-second lead over Senna. 20 lap old softs. Alex Pixie in P5, King Kong. And then we're back on this battle for P8, Lord Coleman, DRS Sign and 50 Gent. Late Bloomer is, and Lord Coleman picks up a penalty. Get down on Lord Coleman now with DRS Sign not too far behind. Going round Cops. Up to the front, and he's still got a 3-second advantage over the Sloth in P3, and it's DRS Swanson and Jack Daniels. Senna as say in P4, Alex Pixie not letting him get away. DRS Sign to P8, Lord Coleman being demoted to P9, but not giving that position up that easily. And then we've got Marski and Jay Lowfield battling it out as Alex Pixie regains P4 as the Sloth goes in the pits. So we're doing round P3, 21 lap old softs for the Cash App Racing Bull. The Sloth enters the pits for a new set of mediums. Jay Lowfield and Marski doing round to complete lap 21 on to lap 22. Saincy on a fresh set of softs, 22 seconds behind Marski in P18. Oh, excuse me for yawning. 5 seconds, 6 seconds is the gap. DRS Swanson and Jack Daniels have got over P3 positioned Cash App Racing Bull of Senna, who will be going in the pits very shortly. And Soft Ties will be singing to Senna, take me in, take me in. DRS Sign with a time penalty of 3 seconds for track limits. Alex Pixie regains P3 as Senna has hit the pits. DRS Swanson leading from McLaren of Jack Daniels. These two leading the race and leading the Drivers' Championships. I think Senna is going to put on a fresh set of, wait for it, mediums. 50 Gent up to P8, getting past Smudgate just before Aintree. Jump on to your leaders as Jack Daniels leads from DRS Swanson, coming in 2 Cops. Alex Pixie is 7 seconds adrift now. It's Beckett's are at Chapel, and then on to the Hanger Straight, where DRS Swanson will pick up DRS and regain the lead. Daniels tucks in, and then we've got that 7-second gap then to Alex Pixie in P3, King Kong's in P4 with Project Tie not too far behind, and then we've got DRS Sign with Lord Coleman battling out for P6. Smudgate's in P8 with the Haas of 50 Gent right up his diffuser. 2.5 second gap then to Centre Friendly as Project Ty enters the pits, also King Kong. Senna comes out in P15 and another catch-up job for the Kashat Racing Bull. With your leaders 7 seconds ahead of the field, DRS Swanton and Jax Daniels. Let's have a look at Smuggy and 50 Gent. As the sun comes out here at Silverstone. And don't forget, we could have a little bit of rain towards the end of the race. With predictions. Alright, J. Lowfield with the fastest lap there. Currently down in P16 on 3 lap old mediums. Lord Coleman and Senna entering the Wellington Straight. And here comes Senna to the move on the Red Bull. He's got the inside line. As Jack Daniels regains the lead. But Lord Coleman not giving up too easily on Senna. He wants to get back up that grid again to Lord Coleman, making it as hard as possible. Apart from the leading 2, there's only a couple of battles on track. We've got Lake Bloomer all over the back of King Kong. This one with Senna and Lord Coleman. And your leaders, DRS Swanton and Jax Daniels. Lake Bloomer has got the better of King Kong. That's P12 for Lake Bloomer. And Centre Finley enters the pits, had enough of these 24 lap old mediums. Lake Bloomer holding on to P12 with King Kong, and Lord Coleman and Senna in on this action now for P11. Centre Finland's put a fresh set of hards on, and we are nearly 50% of race done. 25 laps of 52. And we're on board with Lake Bloomer, and Sainty picks up a penalty. King Kong flies by, so does Lord Coleman on them soft tyres, but the Sauber will have the inside line. We'll take that P12 back from Lord Coleman, and look at Senna. Wow. Move from Senna on the Red Bull. Past the Sauber, and now just has King Kong in his way. To get into that top 10 again. The Red Bull of Lord Coleman and Lake Bloomer having a cracking battle there, and Lake Bloomer gone off track. Might have been a little bit of contact. He rejoins in P15 just behind J. Lowfield in the Alpine. Let's have a look at your leaders as Senna and King Kong swap positions for P11. DRS Swanton leads Jack Daniels, gone to that battle with Senna and King Kong, with Lord Coleman sticking his front wing in there as well. On the Wellington Straight, Senna, King Kong and Lord Coleman. Oh, sorry, we missed some chat. Hey, Casper, you alright, mate? No, they haven't, Kieran. Not a tabby, anyway. Terry's Red's in the chat as well, cheering on Alex Pixie. Alex Pixie currently in P3. He's doing a sterling job. He's leading the Pro-Am Championships as well. And doing himself no harm at all in P3. But, as you can see, as J. Lowfield picks up another penalty, DRS Swanton is out of DRS on Jax Daniels. He's done the hard work, and Jax Daniels has to get back in that second We can use DRS again. These two are 8.5 seconds ahead of Alex Pixie in P3. Project Tie having a lonely little race in P4, 5 seconds behind Alex Pixie. And 7.5 ahead of DRS Sign in P5. DRS Smugget is pulling his way through the grid quietly, but surely. Up to P6, 50 Gen and teammate the Sloth are in P7 and 8 Saintsy. Gets 10 seconds for speeding in the pits. On board with the Sloth. Currently in P8. 3 seconds behind teammate 50 Gen. 50 Gen just coming out of Beckett's and Chapel onto the Angus Straight. As the leaders both pit, as does Alex Pixley, because there's a yellow flag caution. I think that is Saintsy. Yeah, Saintsy has retired in the pits. I missed that. Sorry. But that gives a chance for people, and we're putting the softs on. Swanson, Jack Daniels and Alex Pixie all on the soft. Spencer Finley has picked up a penalty as well. Sorry for missing that retirement from Saintsy. But Swanson rejoins in P6 with a second advantage over Jack Daniels, and it's Project Tie who leads the Grand Prix now on lap 28 of 52. And McLaren leads from DRS Sign. 20 lap old mediums for Project Tie and 20 lap old hards for Sign. Smugget on 20 lap old hards as well in P3. 50 Gen 27 lap old mediums yet to pit as the Haas driver. Swanson has got past the Sloth. Coming into Cops. Trying to put a bit of light between himself and Jack Daniels. Well, he's put a car between them anyway. The Sloth in between Swanson and Jack Daniels were championship leaders. Things will all change shortly as your top 4 will be pitting as DRS Swanson gets past 50 Gent. We've got another yellow flag, and that's is Jay Lowfield in the Alpine, and Alan Newt sets the fastest lap, 1:30.5 for Alan Newt on 8 lap old mediums. Senna now regains fastest lap with a 1:30.1. Senna is on 6 lap old mediums, currently in P11 on his second quest to break through the pack. Having done it earlier, he's got to do it again. But he got a battle for the lead. Project Tie and DRS Sign both running the curb there, and the cars look really unsettled. So McLaren leading Ferrari. Subject is 4 seconds adrift in P3. DRS Swanson cutting down that gap in P4 without fresh softs, but he's got a 1.5 second advantage over title contender Jack Daniels, and there's Sign hitting the lead in the Ferrari. Smudget is in P3, and there is DRS Swanson in the Alpine in P4. Jack Daniels ahead of the Sloth in P6. Newt and DRS Collin. DRS Collin is sandwiched between the Aston Martin of Alnute and 50 Gents Haas. DRS Swanson with a 1:29.9 is your new fastest lap time. Lord Coleman and Senna in P11, Lord Coleman P12. Senna dragging Lord Coleman along in the Red Bull. 3-way battle then as well for P7, Al Newt, DRS Collin and 50 Gen. let's go on to your leaders. DRS Simon, the Ferrari, and Project I. Out into Cops. And then get onto the famous section of Maggots, Beckett, and Chapel. Lovely to drive through if you get it right. Not too good if you get it wrong. And we'll see in the background that DRS Swanson is putting some pressure on the Sauber's DRS Smudgate. Now it's DRS Swanson up to P3. And there's a couple of seconds now ahead of Jack Daniels in the McLaren. It's 3 seconds adrift of DRS Sam and Project I. We now start lap 31. DRS Swanson 1:29.112 is your fastest lap. As 50 Gent has finally pitted on 29 lap old mediums. I'm thinking he will put softs on now to the end. As Smudgate regains P4 from Jack Daniels, but Jack Daniels needs to get some clean air. He needs to catch up to DRS Swanson. He's 2 seconds ahead. It's a nice line around Woodgate as Jack Daniels a bit of air between himself and DRS Smudgate in P5. Right, and let's go have a look at Senna and Lord Coleman. They're still battling it out for P10. Senna has the upper hand at the moment, so Lord Coleman is not giving up. Centre Finley leads 50 Gent. They're coming around Woodcote as well. But your leaders, round club, and it's starting lap 32 down Hamilton Straight. Swanson is joining these. There is within DRS of your leading 2. It's only going to be a matter of time before the Alpine is all over the back of the McLaren. Well, he is now. Jack Daniels 2 seconds adrift of DRS Swanson. Positions to stay as they are. Swanson in front of Jack Daniels. It's going to be a shootout next week. Lovely line there from DRS Swanson inside. Great grip, and that's P2 as he passes Jack Daniels' teammate Project I. A bit of wheel banging there. So DRS Swanson held up now by DRS Syme. To get DRS coming out of Beckett's and Chapel, and that will be P1 for the Alpine. And that's 2 cars between Swanson and Jack Daniels now. So advantage DRS Swanson on the end of lap 32. 20 laps to go. Alpine leads from Ferrari Syme. Project I in McLaren ahead of Jack Daniels, his teammate. DRS Smudgate 3 seconds adrift in P5 with the Sloth in P6. Al Newt P7 with DRS Collins P8. Alex Pixie P9. Senna and Lord Coleman alongside. Coleman has to give up on that quest for P10. Senna holds it at the moment 3.9 seconds behind Alex Pixie, sorry. Jack Daniels gets past teammate and needs to bridge that gap between himself and DRS Swanson, who leads by 1.5 seconds to DRS Syme, and Jack Daniels. DRS Syme is got to pit yet. 25 lap old hard. They will go on for another few laps yet. Project I is on 25 lap old mediums. Smudgate on 25 lap old hards. No need for them to pit quite yet. Senna and Lord Coleman still battling it out for P10. Senna has it at the moment. But when Sign, Project Tight and Smugget do decide to pit, these two will jump up that leaderboard. And here comes Lord Coleman. And that's P10 for the Red Bull. Senna has to settle for P11. As DRS Sign has been taken by Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels 2 seconds adrift of DRS Swanton, and battery power not looking too good. DRS Swanton is on 40 odd percent, and Jack Daniels 25. Central Finley's taking Joe Lowfield for P16. There's the Sloth, passes Smugget for P5. That's going well. Maybe Smugget's tyres are going off a little bit now. On board with Mr. Smugget. Chasing down the Haas of the Sloth. Around Cox. Short gap as DRS Colin picks up a penalty. Sloth holds on to P5 from Mr. Smugget, but it's the lead is DRS Swanton, and Jack Daniels is within 2 seconds now of the Alpine. Sign dropped off in P3, Project Tight P4. And the Sloth at P5. Smugget still keeping on his shirt tails with Al Newt. There's Colin, Al Pixie and Lord Coleman. Your top 10. Marvsky in P14 with 50 Gent of company. J Lowfield P16 with Century Finley all over the back of that Alpine. Back up to your front though, DRS Swanton and Jack Daniels. Just over a second behind DRS Swanton now is Jax. Lap 35 of 52. The Alpine leads a McLaren, Ferrari, McLaren, Haas, Sauber, Aston Martin, Williams, Ferrari and a Red Bull. The Cash-App Racing Bull of Senna. And these two losing a lot of time to Alex Pixie. Battling like this, but Senna is up to P10 around Cops. Smugget and the Sloth still battling it out for P5. Nice tight line from the Sauber. So 8 drivers with penalties. This iconic Silverstone circuit. Let's have a look at Senna and Lord Coleman. They're still battling it out for P10. 5.5 seconds adrift of the Ferrari in P9 of Alex Pixie. Not many battles on track at the moment, but some pit stops will be coming, I'm sure, in the next few laps. Things will start to iron out a bit and get an idea of where people will be. Jack Daniels though not far off being inside DRS of DRS Swanton. We'll jump onto that battle now because he has got inside momentarily. And Project Type has decided to pit on lap 28. So it'll be softs till the end for the McLaren, I should say. Let's have a quick drink, bear with. Yeah, first off for Project Type, and comes out in P12. DRS Swanson though, still getting some speed advantage some way on the McLaren, because he's back out of DRS now. Sloth and Smugget battling out for P4. Now Newt and Alex Pixie. Very close battle for P6 with DRS Colin also in on the action. It's advantage Alex Pixie as Newt and Colin both have penalties. And there goes Alex Pixie up to P6. There's 3.8 seconds to close on a DRS Smugget in P5. Battling out with the Sloth for P4. Sloth seems to have pulled a little bit of an advantage there. Centre fin. It's a 3-second time penalty. Oh, I'm yawning. Three-way battle then for P6. That's Alex Pixie, Al Newt and DRS Colin. Bit of a frog in my throat, and DRS Swanson has pulled a gap of 1.5 seconds over Jack Daniels now. We've got a yellow flag caution, and who is that? That's a record of some description. And it's Centre Finley who's retired in the pits. Just a few minutes after he'd picked up a penalty. So whether he'd done some damage and he received his penalty, I don't know. But we'll go on to your leaders who are just coming round. Stoke into Vale. 1.3 is the distance between them, and Al Newt has got past Alex Pixie for P6. Now they're only 2.2 seconds behind Smugget in P5, so that gap has come down a bit. And Smugget is on 30 lap old yards. Still got 13 laps to go. Is he hoping for a safety car? Mr. Smugget. And DRS Simon as well, 31 lap old yards. And he's in P3 in the Ferrari. And looking quite safe. He has got penalties though. Nice. Oh, J-Lo Field with another penalty. Nice little battle here at 4 P13 with Late Bloomer, 50 Gent and Marvski. Late Bloomer in the Sauber, 50 Gent in the Haas, and Marvski in the Williams. Oh, sorry, 50 Gent gets past Late Bloomer up to P13. And the distance between P1 and 2, DRS Swanson and Jack Daniels is 1.5 seconds. Al Newton, Alex Pixie, Alpha P6, and Alex Pixie regains with the aid of DRS. Now, as Smugget in his sights, he's coming out to complete lap 39 and start at lap 40 of 52. So, not long to go now, 12 laps remaining. DRS Swanton has increased his lead to 1.6 seconds over Jack Daniels. These two are 9 seconds ahead of DRS Syme in P3. The Sloth is gaining on P3 though, down to 2.5 plus DRS Syme has penalties, so the Sloth could be making a visit to the podium if it carries on. Alex Pixie, Al Newt and DRS Colin battling it out here for P6, held at the moment by Alex Pixie as Project Ty gets past King Kong. Up to P11 for the McLaren. Lord Coleman and Senna still battling it out for P9. 3 seconds behind DRS Colin. Al Newt has got past Alex Pixie, we saw that as we were on board with Senna and Lord Coleman. And that three-way battle for P13 held at the moment by 50 Gent in the Haas. Late Bloomer and Marvsky in close proximity to the Haas. Oh dear. I've got a tickle. Lovely shot of the Haas, the Sauber and the Williams coming into Stowe there, into club. Al Newt with a penalty, but he is catching up to Smugget. That's he's within a second of the Sauber, and bringing Alex Pixie with him as well. Yeah, Swanson 1.8 is the gap between himself and Jack Daniels now. 11 seconds the advantage these two have over DRS Syme in P3, the Sloth in P4 with Smugget 3 seconds drift of the Sloth. And just a second behind Smugget with Alex Pixie. DRS Colin not far behind. J Lowfield with the fastest lap, 1:29.037, as Alex Pixie gets past Al Newt. Terry's Reds in the chat. Go on, Jacks. Hammer time. Go and level things up if things stay as they are at the top of both championships, Pro Championships and the Drivers' Championships next week, being the decider. Well, I can't wait for that. If things stay as they are here at Silverstone. So Azerbaijan next week. Going to be a thriller. Nearly 2 seconds is DRS Swanson's advantage over Jack Daniels at the lead. Don't know why I've come off that battle there, because Sauber of Smugget is under pressure now from the Ferrari of Alex Pixie and Al Newt. I must say Alex Pixie has drove a very good race tonight. And there he goes up to P5 in the Ferrari. Alex Pixie will increase his lead in the Pro-Am over Lord Coleman, who's down in P10 battling it with Senna for P9. Still this three-way battle for P5, held by Alex Pixie, DRS Smugget and Al Newt in P7. We've got DRS Colin and Senna with Lord Coleman battling out now for P8. Williams, Cash App and Red Bull. Lap 43 of 52, we're down to single figures. Laps remaining. Senna has got past DRS Colin, and That could hold up Lord Coleman to give Senna a little bit of an edge, as he needs 3 seconds to catch Al Newt in P7, who has just been taken by the Sauber of Smudgate. He needs to put the hammer down to catch up to Alex Pixie in P5. The Sloth is not far behind DRS Syme now. DRS Syme in P3, the Sloth in P4. 13 seconds these are behind the front two, with 8 laps remaining. That battle for P8 held by Senna. J. Lowfield, another penalty for J. Lowfield. Yeah, Senna has P8, DRS Colin P9, Lord Coleman P10. So Senna is penalty free at the moment. Ooh, nice line there from Lord Coleman. Trying to get up the inside of DRS Colin. He's got the better exit. Lord Coleman picks up a penalty on his quest to take P9 from DRS Colin. What a shame for the Red Bull. But he pulls alongside, side by side. Who gets the better exit? It's a Red Bull, and that's Lord Coleman up to P9. DRS Colin down in P10. 2 seconds is the gap now between DRS Swanton and Jack Daniels at the front. And Lowfield with a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Let's have a look at how many penalties he's got. 32-second points for J. Lowfield. You know, to sit that 10 seconds out as the Sloth gets past DRS Syme. DRS Syme gets back into P3. Simon's running a great race. 36 lap old hard tyres. 37 now. As DRS Smudgate as well in P6 in the Sauber. Lost a little time to Alex Pixie in P5. Rode that curb a little bit high there, did the Ferrari. Sloth and DRS Syme still battling out for P3. The Sloth, a lovely move on the inside there, getting past the Ferrari. And the Sloth back and drive as well tonight for the Haas driver. Into Cops. DRS Swanton now over 2 seconds is the gap between himself and the McLaren of Jack Daniels. 14.5 seconds is their advantage over the Sloth in P3 with Syme within DRS of the Haas. Alex Pixie 3.5 seconds adrift in P5 with Smudgate further second behind in P6 with Al Newt and Senna. Here comes Al Newt taking that P6 away from Smudgate, and Senna will be the next to tackle the Sauber. Let's have a look at the penalty, shall we? Because this could be quite interesting. Syme is on 3 seconds. Al Newt on 6. As is Lord Coleman, 3 for DRS Colin, 3 for Project Ty, and 3 for King Kong. J. Lowfield has sat out that 10-second speeding in the pit lane penalty and is down to 22 seconds, which looks better on his CV. Position changes up 4 is DRS Swanton. Jack Daniels, as he was, up 9 is the Sloth, which Smudgate and Senna side by side for P7, and Senna who takes that position away from the Sauber. Yeah, the Sloth up 9 positions, which confirms what a good race the Haas has had. Down 1 is DRS Syme, up 3 is Alex Pixie, up 8 is Al Newt, down 6 is Senna, but he has had to make his way through the pack On 2 occasions. Smugget up 1, as is Will Coleman. DRS Colin down 4. Project Tight down 7. King Kong's down just 1. Up 5 is 50 Gent. Down 7 is Marvsky. Late Bloomers up 1. J Lowfield down 1. So 5 laps remaining. And DRS Swanton, 2 seconds is the gap between himself and Jack Daniels. Did I just see rain? Yes, I did. This is going to make it very, very interesting. It's raining. They're on slicks. They're on 19 lap old softs. Some are on 25 lap old mediums. Some are on 39 lap old hards. This is going to put that tabby cat amongst them pigeons, Kieran. Most definitely. I better have a drink, lubricate them vocal cords because I might need them in a bit. These things could get a little bit meaty. DRS Swanson coming in to complete lap 47, which gives him 4 laps to handle these diminishing conditions as Senna gets past down route 4 P6. My question exactly, Terry's Reds, will they pit for inters? Because if this rain carries on as it is, these slicks aren't going to last another 4 laps. Definitely not. Going to be Torval and Dean for the last 4 laps, I'm sure. That is the question. Will they pit for inters? 3 seconds the gap now, so DRS Swanton is handling the conditions at the moment better than Jack Daniels. As DRS Syme gets past the Sloth for a place on the podium, but look at, he has got penalties. Battle for P6 with Senna, Almute and Smugget. That's I think that's J Lowfield's Alpine in the middle of this battle for P6. Causing a stir. DRS Colin has got past Lord Coleman. Smugget has got past Al Newt because Al Newt has gone in the pits. Oh, the Senna's Sauber was all over everywhere there. Right, skating. King Kong has got done for speeding in the pit lane. 10-second penalty for him. Al Newt's put the inters on. DRS Colin and King Kong, I think, will follow suit. Yeah. I think they've done the right call. 3 laps to go on these diminishing conditions. Jack Daniels is catching up to DRS Swanton. It's within 3 seconds now. So how is Mr. Swanton handling these conditions? We'll get a split. He's 6 seconds down on his fastest lap. He's just nursing the Alpine through. No visit to the pits from either of your front 2. Getting meaty. 2 laps remaining. And the rain is still coming down, getting quicker and quicker. And the drops falling from the heavens. DRS sign. Oh, who's that good shot in the pits? Was that the Sloth? Yeah. Takes the boards with him. Sloth is putting Inters on. So is Alex Pixie in P5. Anybody else following suit? Senna is carrying on. He's up to P4 as well. DRS is disabled. That shows that the conditions are worsening. Alex Pixie and the Sloth rejoin with their fresh intermediate tyres on. What are you thinking, Terry's Reds? What are you thinking? Marski, 10-second penalty for speeding in the pits. Who's that gone off there? Jay Lowfield, I think. Yeah, Marski's going in. 50 gent as well. Now, battle of the wits between the front two. Jack Daniels is within 2.4 seconds of the Alpine of DRS Swanton, who seems to be handling the conditions fairly well. Lowfield with another penalty. No visits to the pits for your front two again. Oh, DRS Swanton a bit skivviffy coming out of the club. Jackson had seen this. DRS sign not going in the pits either. Senna and Smugget. No. Ooh. So a lap remaining after this one for your leading two. That gap is still around the 2.5, 2.7 mark. Yeah, you're right, Terry. I'm sure they'll just stay out and weather the conditions and fight the conditions and nurse that car through for another lap and a half. I'd be on tenderhooks if I was driving these cars now. I really would. The Project I takes Lord Coleman for P6. Can we move away from your top two? Can we? Al Newt on the Inters. That time coming down between himself and Lord Coleman in P7. Inters of Al Newt. Wow, that's come down 2 seconds in the matter of corners. Al Newt's Aston Martin, and that's the Al Newt's Aston Martin up to P7 and perhaps P6 in the next couple of corners. Yes, Project I runs wide. I'm in to stick to the track of Al Newt and Alex Pixie. Let's go up to your front two as they start their last lap. DRS Swanton is doing his impression of Torval and Dean at the front, and he'll nurse that car through. 3 seconds is the advantage over Jax. We've gone 52 laps. We've got to nurse these cars now. Oh, you can't just do 52 laps for nothing. We'll have to nurse these cars, and I think DRS Swanson is doing the cracking job, as Jack Daniels is. 13 seconds is their advantage, and Al Newt and Alex Pixie, I think, have pulled a masterstroke because their Inters are fetching their cars right up the grid. Up now to P5, Al Newt, P6 Alex Pixie, and Smugget has got to give in. Anyway, your leaders just coming into Maggots, Beckett and Chappell. They'll not be giving it as much power as they have on previous laps, I'm sure. Al Newt up to P4 now, Senna in P5, now P6. DRS Swanton then. 2 or 3 corners left to go. He's around Stowe. and it looks like he's done the biz. Swanson with the win from Jack Daniels. Here he comes, he's going to take the checkered flag. And that's DRS Swanson with the win. Jack Daniels is second with DRS Syme. Coming around the final corner now. He's got penalties. Will he keep hold of that podium position? As Alex Pixie takes Syme with P3. Alex Pixie, cracking drive from Alex. With P4, DRS Colin up to P5. Almute P6. Unfortunate to get a penalty mid-race. Senna finishes P7 with Smudgett in P8. Sloth P9 with King Kong top 10. And we have Project Tie. And there you go, Silverstone over and out, and cracking race again here at DRS. We keep producing Almute with the driver of the day in the game. But we will see the drivers on the podium now. There is DRS Swanson with Jack Daniels and DRS Syme joining him on the podium. And there you go. There is confirmation of your finishing positions. P1 is DRS Swanson in the Alpine with Jack Daniels in the McLaren on P2. DRS Syme joins him on the podium in P3 in the Ferrari. And the good result for Ferrari is Alex Pixie picks up P4. DRS Colin P5 with Almute P6. Senna P7 with DRS Smudgett P8. The Sloth P9. King Kong P10. I'm going to sneeze. Project Tie P11, Law Coleman P12, Marsky P13 with 50 Gent P14, Late Bloomer P15, J. Oldfield with the fastest lap. There you go, that is it. Silverstone over and out. And like we've been saying earlier, it's all down to Baku, Azerbaijan next week for your final round. I'm getting a bit of feedback in my ears. Somebody's joined the chat, but everything will be decided next week. Jack Daniels and DRS Swanson for your driver standings in both the main driver standing and the pro standings. And Alex Pixie and Lord Coleman will be continuing their battle for the Pro-Am Championship. And it looks like McLaren could have sealed the constructors tonight, but it's not over till that fat lady sings, and we'll be listening to that fat lady next week for round 10 at Baku in Azerbaijan, and I can't wait for that. See you next week, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining me. Over and out.